Bob Ferguson, and myself. Steve Babineau will not be here tonight. And normally at this time, we would look for any presentations. I don't see anybody out there wanting to make a presentation. I think we can skip that. So I guess we just go right into our regular session, and we need to approve the minutes from September.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion.
I second.
Well, wait, you need to ask the question. Everybody had a chance to look them over.
I did.
Now we can approve. Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, you guys are too hard to get along with.
One typo.
Oh, there was a typo? Did you get it fixed? Or
I'll-
tell somebody to fix it? All right, we need to get some updates from Parks projects. I guess Tony will do that for us.
Good evening, board members.
Good
Thank you
evening,
for
Tony.
coming today. Appreciate it. If I can just take a quick moment to remind you to please speak into the mic. It gives us a good opportunity to, when we're doing the minutes, and be able to hear you guys. And before I get started, I want to introduce to you Ms. Debra Edmond. Debra started with us last week on Monday as the Senior Administrative Assistant with Parks and Recreation. I cannot be more happier to have her on board.
You have help.
So I am very pleased for she's done a fantastic job so far. Just a little bit about her. She is married to her wonderful husband, Philip. She has 2 daughters and 1 son, and 2 grandbabies, Riley and Oliver. So she's definitely busy. And adding me to her agenda, I don't know. We'll see. I hope she sticks around for a while. So we're glad to have her on board. A little bit about the Parks Department. We have some new seasonal plant material. I don't know if you guys noticed, the Parks Department has worked very hard the last few weeks on preparing all the medians and the flower beds and common spaces in town. So they've been doing a good job doing that, and that's the winter color for this season that you see out there. The playground replacement at Independence Park West was approved, so staff's still working with the contractor to come up with the logistics of dates and installation and all that good stuff. So we'll be working with them on that. There's a couple of pictures up there for you guys as well. The winterized seed was applied at Harmony Park. I don't know if you guys visit the parks often, but the sports fields look immaculate at the moment, as well as the fields over at Lakeview Elementary. And just to backtrack for a second, this is the playground that was approved. It is ADA compliant, and that's the one that's going over at Independence Park West. So there's a nice little picture that's from today over at Harmony Park. And our roundabout Christmas tree is scheduled to be installed at our roundabout the week of November 15th. It usually takes the parks team about 3 days to get that up and going. So
Did we get new ribbons for that tree?
we did get new ribbons actually last year.
Oh, we did?
So
They're not
yes,
pink
they're
this
not
year?
faded, or
No.
they look pretty nice. So that pretty much concludes the parks update. If you guys have any questions, I'm available.
How long is the sign going to be up? But I have a reason for asking.
Sure.
For example, over at Lakeview, the sign is up, no practice due to overseeding, and there are teams out there practicing.
Yeah, well, I'll let the staff know to remove those. They should have been removed today. So
Oh,
I think
okay.
practices started today, actually,
Okay, perfect.
and games over at Harmony.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yes, sir.
And when is the new playground expected to start?
Sure. I
construction?
submitted the purchase order to the contractor last week, and so he's thinking between 10 and 12 weeks total, but there may be some delays with, shipping
Sure.
at the moment. So I'll keep the board updated. Something new that I'm going to begin doing, I spoke with Debra today about it, is I'm going to start sending the board weekly updates if or when necessary, because, it gives me a better opportunity to keep you guys posted on and updated on all these other items. So we definitely will be starting that this week. So I'll keep you guys updated.
Good.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Okay, turn it over to Sumner.
All right, good evening, everybody. So I'm going to go through some of our recreation updates.
we've been good and busy these past couple months, so I'm real excited to share different things we've had going on. We recently had our Fright Lights contest. Had a lot of great competition, and man, it was a lot of fun going out to judge the different homes. We actually saw a lot of people that would have even been some good contenders if they had submitted a form just to compete in it. So,
Who
but
won?
there were,
Who won it?
well, we've got a handful of our winners on here for a
Oh, that
picture.
was
We
one.
have
Okay.
we have several different categories. So we had Monster Mash, we had Best Animation, Best Decorated Pumpkin, several different awards. The Scariest House, it was definitely terrifying. So it was a lot of fun just getting to do that. We're going to be ramping up and doing the same thing Christmas style here in a couple weeks, actually. So this past Friday, we had movies in the park. We watched Shrek at the Independence Field, or Independence parking lot. The fields were a little too wet, so went out there, had some food trucks, and had a good turnout of some families, and it was fun seeing everybody enjoy the evening. Hopefully, thankfully it wasn't too cold for everybody to be out there for that event. So yeah, we had a good time there. A couple of things that are still going on are coming up really soon. We have our leagues, our kickball league and our bocce ball league. Kickball's got one more game, and then they have their final tournament next week. Bocce ball just has a couple more weeks left, but I'm getting weekly updates on how they're doing, and everybody seems to be enjoying their leagues and having fun in them, so very thankful for that. This weekend, we've got a cleanup day at Trophy Club Park, basically a time for volunteers to come in and help us out on some various projects that we're working on out there. I'm going to work on a pavilion area, trying to spruce it up and make it nicer. If we've got enough volunteers, we'll also add in some painting here and there. So looking forward to that. We've got our gingerbread house decorating. We opened up registration for it last week. It's already about halfway full. One thing different we're doing this year is we're actually adding in 2 different dates to be able to do the decoration. It'll be on Friday evening, which is what we traditionally do, and then Saturday morning at the firehouse. So that's gingerbread. And then we've got the rest of our Christmas festivities coming up. So we're partnering with the football organization for Christmas in the Park. They're going to be doing a toy drive before our event, and you have a really good story behind that. So I'm excited to share more when we've got our marketing out on that and our flyers to just to be able to add that on to our event.
Question, Summer?
Yes, sir.
Will there also be an opportunity for people to bring presents to that Christmas park in the event, or is it too close to the actual holiday?
To bring presents for
That
the
can be,
tour drive?
Donate
Yes.
presents.
Yes, donations will be accepted. So this toy drive will be done right before Christmas in the park from 4:30 to 6:30. There will be a whole drop-off location set up for that.
Super, that's nice.
Yes. So, and like I said earlier, we have our Holiday Lights contest coming up. So, register. We already have our contest or our different categories available for that. For those who are looking to plan in advance to compete in that light contest. Letters to Santa is also going to be coming out soon on the 20th. That's when families can start sending in those letters to Santa. So, very excited for all the holiday activities we have coming up.
Excuse me.
So, first weekend of December.
Ooh, sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I've not really heard about many of these events, so other
Okay.
than maybe when you come in through the billboard or whatever, how else do you communicate it to the community?
We have our Facebook page. It's our Parks and Recreation Facebook page where we do some of our advertisements there. It's mainly there. We are working on adding in for Christmas, for example, having some flyers that we'll be able to hand out and have in different areas just to kind of give a little bit more awareness to different people who may not be on Facebook or be aware of that page.
Right, okay.
We have our Trophy Club magazine too, right?
There is a magazine. There are a few
Seven-
different magazines.
76262.
Yep.
No, there's one with Trophy Club.
Neighbors, it's called Neighbors.
Neighbors in 760.
It's Kelly DeRoche.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as having one in-house, we don't have one
We
in-house.
don't do it no more?
No, well, we spoke, we did budget to send something out to the residents this fiscal year, as a matter of fact. So we'll be working, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily a magazine, but definitely some type of trifold reminding folks about our events, and the magazine will actually be virtual for sure. So we'll be working on that this year.
Yeah, piggybacking on the comment there, encourage you to use the marquees at both entrances to, especially the Christmas in the Park Volunteer, the Ginger House, and the letters to Santa. The enthusiasts, I think, already know about the holiday lights.
Oh, the fall cleanup's on there, I saw.
Yeah, yeah. So just encourage you to use it.
It's on the sign. The
Yep.
fall cleanup's on the little marquee.
We do have some, most of our events, they are advertised on the marquees, but some of these newer ones, they haven't been put on there quite yet, so thank you for the feedback.
Yep.
This first weekend of December, we're going to be doing something special out at Trophy Club Park. There's an organization called Torn. They're going to come out and help host a motocross race out there. So what's going to happen is Torn's going to come in. They're going to completely revamp our tracks and trails out there and basically prepare for a really big race. So there's a huge benefit to doing something like that with the town, because it'll bring a lot of people in from out of town to come in for the weekend. So our hotels, restaurants are definitely going to have a benefit from that. We've already been in communication with the hotels. They're going to be advertised with this company when they're pushing out for this race, and we'll also be reaching out to local businesses and restaurants to see how they want to be a part for this event. But we're very excited to have something new to Trophy Club Park or newer to Trophy Club Park that we can offer to our residents and say, here's some updates we've done over here. So very excited about that race. Do you have any questions, further questions on our recreation updates?
Having done something similar to this with horses, I'm assuming that Torn Racing is coordinating with the Emergency Medical Services Fire Department in case someone gets hurt there?
Yes,
Does
yes,
all
of
that.
course. So any special event, like especially at this level, we had to send this into our committee. So our committee's already reviewed and talked on this one, yes.
I'm assuming there's gonna be a Christmas light contest, just like Halloween, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
It's on the
yes,
paper.
there is.
But I mean, is it gonna do the same different categories? I mean, you're gonna have.
Yes,
I mean, is
so-
it gonna be the same or there's multiple categories?
So one thing we're gonna do a little bit different for Christmas is for Halloween, we had people select what category they wanted to compete in, but there was some confusion and some people would say, hey, I fit into 4 categories. So what we're going to do is we're posting our categories and we choose which one they fit into. Most of the homeowners just want to win something, so I don't think anybody would be too upset winning, a specific category over another. I think it'll make the judging and the application process a little bit easier so people don't feel confined to one specific thing.
Because I think in years past, we just had like best Christmas, but it didn't, now it's getting pretty high tech. Some of these ones.
Yeah, we have 6 different categories for this year.
Oh, for Christmas. Oh,
Yeah.
good. All right.
Yeah, I was just stoked several years ago, honorable mention. I mean, that was cool. Anyways, anything.
Yeah, I posted honorable mentions for our Fright Lights contest. I'll continue that with Christmas as well.
Yeah, no, that's fun.
So your house is a stop, is what you're saying?
You sir,
Check
have
it out.
cookies?
Well, I'm still waiting for the husband to fall off the roof. He does it himself.
Do you have something you can send me about cleanup day? I'll forward it to the ag department.
Sure, I can send that your way tomorrow morning.
That's
Perfect.
excellent.
Well, those ag boys are worker bees and they'll
They
get
are.
out there.
Hey,
They
I'll
need-
take them.
They
need
are.
green cord owl.
I'll put them to work.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You bet.
Any other questions? Perfect. We'll move to agenda item 4, discuss and receive recommendation on creating a new community event.
I'm sorry, before we get started, I apologize, Mr. Shrine. I wanted to congratulate him on his first meeting and appointment of the Parks and Recreation Board. I don't know if you guys have all met Mr. Shrine, but if you have paid attention for the last, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 months, he has attended every single park board meeting, or maybe longer actually, and a few council meetings every once in a while. I can't thank Mr. Shrine enough, and, well, I speak on behalf of the team, is that he has dedicated and invested a lot of hours into Trophy Club Park and as a volunteer, and what he does out there is make sure that all the brush is clear, low-hanging brush for the bikes, for the bikers, and for the hikers out there as well. He removes litter as well. So I can't thank him enough for that, and it pleases me beyond to have him on the board and have someone like him on the board. So thank you so much, Patrick, for joining the team, and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of the rest of the board as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Perfect. So, our last board meeting, we had mentioned a spring event, something new that we're going to bring to the town. So, here's a basic layout of what we're planning to do. It's going to be a Taste of Trophy Club. So, the initial goal of this is to partner with our local restaurants and see if they can come out and give people a little bit of taste of what they have to offer. So, if you look over in one of the ball fields, field 7, I have a tent set aside for all vendors to be there. And that's where people can come visit and get to see different restaurants, what they have offered there. Over in the other field, field 6, we'll have a bunch of just different inflatables for kids and young families to go and enjoy. We'll have the face painting and balloon artists that are also popular in our events that we'll bring there. Over in field 5, we'll have basically some seating for people that are grabbing a bite to eat from those vendor tents, as well as yard games for the kids to play while families are enjoying. We're going to have a stage and some small bands play there. Have a couple of different cover bands that will be playing, so people will be encouraged to sit in front of the stage, or they'll be within earshot at one of the fields as they're enjoying seeing different restaurants, tasting different foods, or playing on different inflatables. So this is kind of a basic part of our event here. Yeah.
So I've been to several of these in the Metroplex in my company. Taste of Addison, Taste of Dallas, Taste of, and they get a lot of people out there. I'm assuming there's revenue. Is there a charge for the restaurants to be there? Or they just come and they're just going to make the money off the food, or how are we?
So,
revenue paid?
yeah, so there would be a basic application process that they would go through, and they would have a fee to have a booth spot there.
And then do
Yes.
we get any percentage of the sales, or is just they get what they make?
We've not discussed that far yet on a percentage split.
And the one thing I know that's kind of common denominator of all those events I've been to is they have alcohol, like beer and wine.
Okay.
I've been to some that don't have that, and like nobody goes. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but very few people. But you add beer and wine, and there's crowds. And that might be an interesting revenue source. Tony, is that something we can add to this or put on this?
Sure.
Definitely, yeah, that's definitely something we can discuss, possibly through a third-party vendor, have them apply for the TABC license as opposed to the town, and relieve some of the liability there as well. So, and then sell the alcohol, or I'm sorry, the beer and wine through that third party.
And then the city
As
gets some
opposed,
revenues off.
absolutely, absolutely. We discuss a split of some sort.
Yeah, so the women's club had the event in, whatever it's
PD
called.
30 over at the, yes.
Right, and so that worked out pretty well. Maybe we want to engage them to see if they might be able
Sure.
to partner with us.
It's a great idea.
They already have their own events.
Pardon?
They have the Art and Garden Festival be in the spring. So I don't know if they were gonna have the bandwidth to do 2 events in the spring. But there are vendor trucks
Yes,
that
ma'am.
do beer, wine, blah, blah, blah. They have their own TABC license.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that would be
Yes.
something that you could look at to circumvent the town taking on that.
Right.
Well, I think it needs to be just, if we're gonna put this, does this have to go to the vote of the town, or is this already something that's being done, or something we're gonna talk about?
No, that definitely need to, I would probably have to present this to council for sure.
And then I think we should vote on it, put that we add alcohol, to put it all together as one thing, right?
Yeah, if that's what
We
the
gotta have
board.
alcohol.
I think it means a difference of making a lot of money or not making much money at all when you have.
Yeah.
beer
It's
and
true.
wine.
100%.
That is very true. Having been to events with FFA several years back, the first adult-only dinner event, alcohol was served for the first time. The kids could not attend, and it brought in a lot of money. I mean, it was a lot.
Well, that Lakeview fundraiser we did with La Freak,
Yep.
that was the best fundraiser we ever had. And it's
Yep.
because it was an adult venue with alcohol.
Yeah, and let me give you guys just a little bit of history and why we're Sumner presented on this is, if you guys recall, we used to have 2 family campouts here in town and Back to Nature. Well, they were attended poorly back then, so we decided to cancel those 3 events permanently. And so one of the things that we felt like doing is we owed our citizens at least something in return, and we want to make this event definitely something that our residents will enjoy moving forward, not just cancel events and have just 3 less events moving forward, right? So we feel like this is a good way for us to redeem ourselves and making sure that we offer something fun for Trophy Club.
Another thought, I don't know if it could be done, is possibly local wineries could come in and serve the wine. And they do very well, and they're already, you know, accustomed to events. So that may be another suggestion.
That's also great.
Possibility.
Yeah. Of course.
I think that if you're talking about, you know, an evening of doing something and you're gonna have beer and wine, it kind of changes the I don't know to, yeah, I'm all in, you know what I mean? I think it could double the amount of people that would come out if we could do that. Plus it'll help the city.
So Sumner or Tony or anybody else, I guess, is there a reason why you wouldn't want to have that?
Wouldn't have alcohol sales? Probably, I don't know. I'd like to discuss a little bit further with my team, and then it's something for sure, if the board votes on it, definitely would have to present it to council for final approval, for sure. Yeah.
Well, the way I look at it is, people are gonna sneak it in if it's not there.
Might as well make money.
Don't ask me why I think that. Or you're gonna have a TABC certified person checking IDs, making sure people are legit. It's out in the open and we know what's going on.
Right.
People can judge, you've had too many, maybe you need to stop or whatever.
Right.
Or Bubba brings it in the car and sneaks it in all day and there's no control and no knowledge.
Right.
It's just kind of the way I look at it.
My other question too, also, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things going on at the same time, so who are you partnering with to help man, if you will,
Sure.
person all of these stations? And we really only have 2 service clubs, I believe, that's Rotary and Women's, so.
Right. No, that's a good question. And if we were to move forward with something like this, we would definitely involve our police officers and get their input on this, and as well as fire department, you know, just in case. If it is a requirement, which I don't know at this moment, is if we do have to have an enclosed, quote unquote, like beer garden, we may be able to use, just by looking at the map, one of the fields, since it is enclosed, and maybe have a police officer or security guard there posted at the egress and egress gates, you know, so they can make sure that no one's leaving with their cups or whatever the case may be. A little bit too new to know about all this, but yes, it definitely would have to be strategically planned.
And do you have a tentative date?
We're thinking April, March,
Yeah,
somewhere around
mid-March.
there. We don't want to compete with anyone else, so we'd have to look into City of Roanoke, surrounding cities. We don't want to compete with the high school. I know they have something going on similar to Taste of Talent, I think it's called. So definitely don't want to compete with them or you know, impede on their event either. So
I think that usually takes place in February.
okay.
In the past, it's been February.
That's my deal this year, and so it's gonna be probably late April because just the way it's shaking out. The other thing too is definitely check with competing towns because I get irritated when I have to choose between this event or that event because they're at the exact same time. I'm like, crap.
You can't drink at both places?
Well, not at the same time.
You know, another thought regarding checking IDs, possibly have one or a couple of tables, maybe 3, where there is the ID check. Instead of the vendors that are serving the beverages, them checking, that's going to slow up. To have, you know, a separate location, maybe wristbands, something like
I was
that.
going
Wristbands
to
would
use
be
the
the
ticket
simplest,
system.
yeah.
The ticket
Those things
system.
It's a
cheap.
central
Yeah.
ticket dispensary, and you got to use tickets to buy things everywhere.
Sure.
Yep.
One other thing in terms of potential invitees are a lot of these food trucks are moving around and about, and I see them in Grapevine, I see them in other places. Depending upon the response of the locals, they might be worth an invitation.
Definitely.
It's pretty easy for them to travel here.
Yeah, our food trucks that we had for movies in the park, it was a
do it.
2-minute setup, and all they were doing was pulling in. So
And they do a good job.
they do a great job, really great job.
So when I went taste Addison, they have the wristband there, the little wristbands. Pretty straightforward. You got a green band on, you don't. Cops walk by, you got a band, you don't.
Exactly.
Problem. You know what I mean? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, and those things are like a nickel a piece or something, those little wristbands. You just have somebody checking IDs and give them the band, and then the food truck doesn't have to worry about it, the restaurant doesn't worry about it. They already know they got the band, and they don't have to worry about it. But I mean, it's especially, well, we looked at this years ago when I was on EDC. We didn't have enough restaurants to pull this off. It's kind of nice that we can actually do something like this
Things
now.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got to
that's
actually
enough.
put a list of some of our restaurants here.
Leela's is a
Rest of you,
one, and then we just have that bougie.
Plus, it supports our local businesses.
That's right.
You kind of kill two birds with one stone with this
right.
one, right? So-
Well, depending on when you guys want to meet again, I'm assuming we're going to obviously skip next month because of the holidays, but, you know, Summer and the team can get some thoughts together, and if you guys wanted to meet in January, that's up to you guys, you know, so.
Is this something that, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to me. Is this something we would want to vote on and put forward to get it moving? Or, I mean, it seems like every month you wait, it seems like it's just 2 less months you have to plan this.
No, absolutely. So if you wanted to vote on just giving a recommendation, would be good.
So we're going to call it what? Taste of Trophy Club?
Taste of Trophy Club, yes, sir.
So so we need to make a motion to put forth a Taste of Trophy Club in Trophy Club recommendation, which includes the food, local restaurants, and beer and wine. We want to do
I
that
think all we
motion?
want to do is just support the concept.
I would like to make a motion to further investigate the Taste of Trophy Club, including food and alcohol.
I'll second. I think it's a great idea. I love the idea.
Anybody? Want to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Boom.
Unanimous.
Gives you
Okay,
extra
I
time.
do-
I just know these things take time to plan.
They
and
do.
that's 2
They
less
do.
months to get it.
Appreciate
Do it
that.
right, you got to plan.
But Tony has an admin now,
Senior
go.
executive.
assistant.
Okay, so I do have a question about that. Someone brought up, are we gonna partner with Rotary Club or somebody to help facilitate like all of this? We could actually make a subcommittee that puts this together, of just volunteers in the town, people that wanna work on it. And just say, you know, you're a part of this committee only, you're gonna work on this, and then that's your manpower.
Absolutely. I would suggest creating maybe an ad hoc committee with the board and leaving it here at the board. If we get a lot of folks from the outside, you know, it'd just be better. That way it's tighter communication with Sumner and the team. And so that's just my recommendation.
How soon can we get this in front of council for a vote?
The 11th is the next meeting.
The 11th of December.
The agenda's
Oh,
already out.
yeah, that's this December, maybe.
I could maybe
A
call
good
the
possibility
mayor
in
and see if we
December.
can get it added, she'd be all over this.
Well, the reason why I say is, I think once you know the town council's on board, I guess in theory, they would be, irregardless of alcohol or not, they'd be on board with it.
Yeah, I can make it a point to present in December. They're only meeting once in December, so
I think it's important.
gives me a good month to plan this.
Especially, I mean, April sounds like a long ways away, but if anybody's ever been married, how long does that take to get a wedding all organized?
A year and a half.
Like, can you imagine this? It's a brand-new event we've never done before, we gotta pull it all together and do it right.
It can be done. I've been.
No, I mean, if
I've
we
been
drag
doing
our feet
events.
on this and we finally get it approved in January, now he's got 2
Oh,
months.
it can still be done.
Well,
I've
you've
been,
got something really good going for you. We are,
well, I've actually
December.
been in, part of my responsibilities, and over the past 20 years, small events to major events. And, you know, if I can be a part of this, I would love to help out, because I'm going to say it again, I love this idea, and you have my full support. I mean,
oh, good, because you're gonna be doing it.
Well, we don't have to vote on a committee, we can just put forth an ad hoc
I
committee,
leave it
right?
Sumner's capable.
All right, yeah, help.
This ain't his first rodeo.
I know it's not.
All right,
No,
I
but
like
the
it.
labor part, that's.
So you're gonna
not-
try and get out there in December?
Yes, sir.
All right, good.
Yeah, I'll try my best. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Nicely
Thank you,
done.
Sumner. Excellent.
That is the last item. What I was going to suggest, maybe just a coming up with some dates on their next meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Possible meeting, and any future agendas you guys may have, any ideas.
December's out, right?
Why? We're every other month, right?
Yes.
So it's January.
It would be January 17th, third Monday, if you guys wanted to meet in January.
Can do that.
Maybe a good opportunity to bring you an update with the new potential
That
event.
work for everybody at 17th? Mm-hmm. Work for you guys?
Yeah, good.
It's Martin Luther King Day, that's not an issue, right?
Oh. I have to get back to you. I believe so. Let me check.
Because it's a holiday.
Yeah.
What about the Tuesday? Does that have to be a Monday?
It does not, but I'd have to check the calendar to see if there's anything going on here in the council chambers. But how about I do this? How about I email you guys?
I was gonna say, we figure it out, and then
Yeah.
we can send
There
an
you
email
go.
out to everybody, right?
Sure.
So if we can do Tuesday, the 18th, does that still work? Or at least,
Yep. Yep. I'm gone the prior week, so.
yeah, I'm agreeing with Monday won't work. It's a holiday. It's gonna be a problem.
Do you guys have council? No.
We go back to Tuesdays.
You do?
Monday was just a call.
January? Okay.
Oh, so Tuesday wouldn't work irregardless.
Well, I think, I'm not
How
sure.
about the 10th? There's any reason we couldn't do
The 11th, the 10th, we can meet. I think council meets the 11th and the 25th of January.
Maybe
We may
the
be
10th
able to
would be
squeeze in
good.
the 18th.
I'm gone that day,
Okay.
but I'm only one person, so. What's wrong with the 18th? You say you can't meet on the 18th?
Council meeting.
I think you.
No,
That's
it's
Martin
in
Luther
between.
King, but I think you guys meet the 11th and the 25th.
Yeah, so it's in between the council
we're good.
meetings.
Shoot for the 10th, Tony. We're
Okay,
fine.
we'll figure it out. I'll email you guys, but let's leave it at the 18th if you're okay with that.
All right.
All right.
Oh, the
Yeah.
18th.
With that.
Hang on. Put it in my calendar. All right, is that it?
That's it.
All right.
Thank you very
So
much.
I guess it's 7:34. Motion to adjourn.
Beautiful. Thank you.